Skerningham's very, very historical. It dates back to the early 13th century, and behind me is the open fields of Kettin, good food growing farmlands of Kettin. Now, as a nation, we actually only produce about 50% of the food that we eat every year. We have to import everything. So to get rid of some good food growing farmlands is really, really terrible. And just behind me there, where you've got your camera on, Martin, is a potential road that would go along. It's the northern bypass. It would go along near them wind turbines, and if it's funded and built, a road would come across just between them two tree lines, and that would link up into the Skirningham Garden Village. Now it's going to head this way, so it's heading towards the woodland that's just behind us. And this is a woodland where we've got some very, very rare black poplars in there, so we're a little bit concerned about where this road would go. Would it come through the middle of this woodland that's behind us? And just over to the left hand side of me, a little bit of history about the area is there's a bridge at Barmpton Village, which is just over to my left, and some local masons in the early 18th century were working on it. Now there used to be a gravel quarry where all them trees are over here behind me, and they got a cartload of gravel and they dumped it at the side of the road near the Barmpton bridge, and they found this long piece of thing was covered in mud. They threw it at the side of the road, and we believe it was there for about 2 weeks. And one day one of them started cleaning up, and he said to his friend, "I think this looks like a sword." So they knew there was a guy up at one of the local pubs up at Sadbridge, so they had to wander up one day, very thirsty, and they said to this guy, "Does this look like a sword?" And he cleaned it up and he said, "Yes, it is a sword." And he actually put it above the bar, and it was there for many, many months. And one day a vicar came in and said, "Can I have a look at that sword? I've got a friend that is interested in this sort of thing." So it got took away and it got carbon dated, and it turned out to be 2,000 years old. And it's actually turned out to be an ancient Britain prince's sword. So we think since then there was some skulls found over there, so that could have been an ancient burial site. So we think, you know, medieval villagers, ancient Britons. We know the Vikings were up at the Sadbridge, the Romans before the Vikings had a fort up there. So it's got a lot of history here. So it's a beautiful area for people to walk around. It's an escape. You can hear there's no noise here. Think of the 4,500 houses being behind us with a major road going that way, a major road going that way, cars coming this way. It would just decimate the wildlife that we've got. It would decimate the history we've got. You know, these lands are just ancient and historic and fantastic habitat for many, many amber and red listed animals.